So what I'm going to talk about in this video clip is how best to survive planning a funeral for your loved one. I think it's really worth saying that some people would like to plan their funeral before they die. If family members can be open to that and are happy to discuss that, I would say that it really helps after the death, because planning a funeral can be quite stressful. So if that's something that's right for your family, I would encourage it. But again, it doesn't matter if you don't. There's no right or wrong here. But you would then, of course, have the wishes of that person that you've discussed it with. So when it comes to planning a funeral, it can be a time of strife for families, because very often people will have different ideas. Nobody's right and nobody's wrong, but it can cause quite a lot of upset sometimes. So I think it's really helpful if you can try and stay open and really willing to listen to what the various family members want, and try and have a bit of give and take in that. I think one of the things I've often said about it is this is not Hollywood. This is not like it is in the movies. Sometimes these things don't go so smoothly, and it's lovely if they can, and they do. There's no rush whatsoever to get what you want in place, and I think that's important to realise, because often some funeral directors will push things quite quickly, but actually legally and emotionally you don't need to do that. It could be 7 days, it could be 14 days after the death, or it could be longer. So bear in mind, there actually is no real pressure to do it within a certain time scale, short of what your family wants and needs. Sometimes you get a lot of voices coming in from the outside of the family. Oh, it should be this, or it should be that, or are you doing this and are you doing that? It's really good to recognise that this is your funeral for the person you love, and do what you want and what your family needs to do. And for those that are supporting or are on the outside, please try and recognise that this is this family's funeral and they get to choose. And it doesn't have to be the way that others want it. Whatever you want to do and whatever way you choose to celebrate the life and honour the life of your loved one is right. It's absolutely how you want it that matters. Your funeral director is there to help you really establish what you want and how you want it and where you want it. And there are a lot of different options. They will help you with that. If you want to explore it a bit further, you could look at the very good book, The Good Funeral Guide. It's excellent. It offers up lots of options. And just to say, of course, that there are many different types of funerals and different ways to have funerals. So talk to your funeral director and explore all of that. And like I said about the period of time right after the death, some people are very, very emotional at this time and find it very hard to contain their tears. That's absolutely fine. But remember also that some people don't cry. And that doesn't mean they're not grieving or they're not sad. Or they may have a host of emotions, but that is all normal at this time. And again, if you feel that you're on automatic pilot and you're just going through the motions of planning the funeral, know that that too is absolutely normal. It is again a period of quite full-on shock after the death, and it can be hard to plan a funeral at that time. So look after yourself, rest as much as you can, and try and open up lines of communication with your family as best you can.